the opportunity to speak before you. My name is Kathy McCormick. Today I stand before you. As I stand before you, I can happily say that I am married and have 3 boys and a grandson. I'm an AVP of accounting for a large corporation. I'm also a survivor of domestic violence and a member of a task force with the Rhode Island Coalition Against Domestic Violence called SOAR, Sisters Overcoming Abusive Relationships. I am here today in support of H7636 and urging you to support it too. I am here today urging your support because I remember a less fortunate time. My story is a familiar one for many single parents who have escaped a violent relationship. The relationship seemed good in the beginning spiraled out of control fast, and I found myself pregnant and scared. Getting out of this relationship was extremely dangerous, and it took over 4 years before I was feeling relatively safe. To escape, I moved to a new apartment, got a new job, and left no forwarding addresses. It was my intention to work hard and provide for my son. I was determined to be independent and self-sufficient. After surviving beatings, threats, stalking, and intimidation, I knew I needed to do whatever I could to keep us safe. But I found out firsthand how difficult that would be. I was able to get a job doing bookkeeping, but paid minimum wage. I made every effort to make ends meet, but keeping my head above water was impossible. And many times I had to decide if I pay the rent or the daycare, buy milk for my son, or put gas in my car. Though I lived in a decent apartment, I was in a very high crime neighborhood. And because I was making minimum wage, I couldn't afford anything else. My story is more common than you know. I struggled every day and never gave up. But my son often went to school hungry, had sneakers that didn't fit him, and was unable to attend events and birthday parties because I couldn't afford anything extra. I went to work in hand-me-downs and tried to look as professional as possible. The minimum wage we have now is not a livable wage. Raising it to $15 will make a difference for many people. I know that because it was not until I was eventually able to find a job that paid me a decent wage, a living wage, that the real changes in my life began. Slowly but surely, I began to rebuild my life. I was able to move to a safer neighborhood, and when my son was 8, I bought my first home and moved to a safer neighborhood with great schools. My son and I had clothes that fit, and he never went to school hungry again. I would never have been able to get out of that 3rd floor apartment and move into my own home if I had not been able to get a job that paid me a decent wage. That job was enough to build my credit and allow me the opportunity to pay for a mortgage and move to a safer neighborhood. It was life-saving, and I was able to provide a safe and healthy environment for my son. This is all I ever wanted, a chance to make it on my own and live my life. A minimum wage job would never have allowed me that opportunity. It is necessary to build up families and give them a fair and just wage. When our families can support themselves, the whole community is richer for it. Thank you for the opportunity.